add another half a cup of flour so that when you make the beracha, you're covered. Because a lot of times this flour gets stuck. You'll see it's going to come out of the machine. There's dough that gets stuck in the bowl. So if you add a half a cup to a cup more of flour, you're covered with the 5-pound beracha. Good?
Okay.
Okay. I have all my wet ingredients in here. I have my sugar, my salt, my yeast, my water, my oil, my eggs. Now I'm adding my flour. Okay. You see some flour went on the counter, so it's always good. I'm only not doing it now because I have another batch waiting that I made already. But normally, if I'm only making one batch, I would add the extra cup. All right, Frieda, I'm putting the machine on. It's up to you.
Okay, I'm going to spotlight Frieda. She's going to go over what we just did. Okay, Frieda, just repeat everything.
Sure. So we have 4 cups of warm water. You add 1 tablespoon of sugar to the water. Then you're going to put in 4.5 tablespoons of yeast or 6 packets of yeast. Mix it with a wooden spoon. Leave it to the side. In the meantime, you're going to go either to your machine or your bowl. You're going to do your 1.25 cups of oil. You're going to do 4 eggs. Then you're going to do 1 cup to 1.5 cups of sugar, whichever you prefer. And you're going to do 2 tablespoons of salt. You could mix that in the meantime. And then you will, once the yeast is proofed, you're going to take the yeast and add it to that. And then you're going to add your 5 pounds of flour. If you're only doing one batch, you're going to add a little extra flour, about 1/2 cup to 1 cup of flour to the mixture, just to cover yourself on the beracha. And now that is mixing.
Okay, Haley has a question. If you're using a KitchenAid, would you suggest adding a certain ingredients in an order or all wet the way you do in the Bosch?
So I do it in the Bosch the same way I just said it. So basically I do the oil, and eggs, and then the sugar and salt together, mix that first to make like a mixture. You don't have to, it just gets mixed better. The KitchenAid, I don't have a KitchenAid that has a big enough bowl.
I think that you would still add the wet ingredients first.
I do the sugar and the salt with the egg and the oil. Then you add
you always, even by hand, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk over you, but even by hand, always wet first. I find the best way in a bowl is to start with a wood spoon. I don't know why I like wood better than metal, but I do.
Because it doesn't
wood
stick
spoon, mix it up. As soon as you get to a dough consistency, get rid of the spoon, put your gloves. I like to wear gloves. If you don't, you don't. And then you start to go with your hand.
Okay, someone said,
what? Go ahead.
Continue, sorry. No, go, you go, finish.
No, a good dough will like be, I'm going to show you my dough, my other dough. It came out great. It'll be elastic. It shouldn't stick too much. If it sticks, spray your hand or your gloves with oil. We find when you add flour, I went to someone's house and her challah was delicious. I couldn't get it down because she added so much flour because the dough was so sticky that like it was like. So we learned, Frieda and I, that we spray oil on our hands, on the countertop, better than adding flour. I mean, unless it's like really sticky and like you can't function with it, then I would add little bits of flour at a time, but mostly with the oil spray. Okay, I'm putting the machine back on. I'm muting myself.
Okay. If you want to freeze the challah before you bake it, what do you do?
So I've never done it before. People say that you could freeze the dough itself like in a bowl. I would spray, I mean, I never did it, so I don't know if it's how good it works. People do. They'll spray like a plastic bag, like a Ziploc. They'll put it in, but before it gets all risen. And then they'll put it in the freezer. Some people form the challah, but I know they don't let it rise once it forms and freeze it, like on a turkey or something. But I've never done it. I don't know how it comes out. I think when you take it out, you would then let it rise for a few hours and then before putting it in the oven to bake.
Perfect. Okay, Vicky Sherry, I'm unmuting you because I don't know what you mean by put all these hints.
All the,
what does that mean? Yeah.
All the hints that you're saying, put this before this, put that. You should put it in your recipe.
We're gonna type up the recipe after this, and we're gonna post it with the recording of this on the YouTube. Unless you want it now, is that what you mean?
No.
When for the future. Okay, fine.
Right. With all your little hints.
You got it.
Yeah, we'll do that. And if not, you could always call one of us. Not a big deal.
And by the way, when we all get back to normal, you're gonna come do this for the seniors.
100%.
I think it's great.
I'd love to do it. Okay.
Okay, so wait. One more question. Hold on, wait.
Okay,
someone asked, you put the yeast and then the flour, or the flour and then the yeast?
The yeast first, and then the flour after the yeast in the bowl.
Okay. All the wet, just remember, your wet first. Your sugar, your salt, your eggs, oil, water, everything first. Then you
And
put
the
your
flour.
dry. Look, if you put your flour first and then put your wet, it's not
Yeah,
going to kill your
I've
challah.
done that, by the way.
Yeah. I think it's just easier to mix that way. I don't know if it's like a science as far as like the challah is going to be good or not good. I think
Right.
it's easier. I don't know.
Right.
I've
Wait.
always done it this way, so I don't know.
Okay, Sharon, let's see your yeast. She said, what if the yeast doesn't bubble? But let's see it. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
let's
bubbling
see.
and you
Show
don't
us.
realize.
What?
Let me see your yeast. Let them see your yeast, because sometimes it's bubbling and you don't realize. Could you see? Wait, let me spotlight. Hold on. What do you think?
That looks good to me. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks
Take
good
a
to me.
wooden
You want me
spoon
to
and
mix
just
it
lightly
down? Would
mix
you
it
have
with-
a wooden spoon?
I don't have a wooden spoon.
Okay.
Mix it with
with
any
what-
spoon.
Yeah, any spoon. Mix it.
Like lightly.
Right. It looks good though.
Okay, perfect.
Now, let's see.
Okay.
You'll see it like moving a little bit, like bubbling up a little bit, and that's how you'll know it's good. Sometimes it doesn't get so puffy, and that's okay.
Right. You know what? The weather also depends a lot on your challah, even though you're in your house and the temperature is always the same. On a hot, humid day, your yeast is going to bubble magnificently, and your challahs are going to be like ginormous.
Yes, it's true.
Cold winter day, it's going to bubble not as high, and your challahs aren't going to rise as well. And it's weird because you're always in your house and your temperature is controlled. I don't get that science at all. Okay, so I'm going to show you in my bowl what my dough looks like. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. You see or no?
Where'd you
What
go?
did I do? I don't know what I did. Oh, there I am. Okay. All right, you see? And
Yeah.
it's like not really sticking. Okay? So that's a great dough. Okay. So now, Frieda, are we starting to roll yet?
So now, everyone, if you made your dough and it's ready, you have to wait about 45 minutes to an hour to really roll it out. I would put it in a bowl, like I have here. I'm going to show you, and cover it. Some people use a wet paper, like a wet towel. I use Saran wrap with spray, and I'll leave it like this, covered for about an hour. Mine has been already now an hour. It's ready to go. And you
So
see,
you got to put, it's gorgeous. That's a gorgeous dough, Fred.
Beauty.
it's ready to
Wait,
go.
somebody asked how long in the machine to mix.
It looks like a not.
Yeah, when you see that it starts to look doughy, I don't know. We've never timed it.
I would
Some people say you can mix too much, but there are times I've put it mixing and I went to the garage to get something and I went to and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 10 minutes and it's fine. You don't have to do it just till it's all incorporated. And then if you go to get it and you see there's still a lot of flour or whatever, put the machine on for another few minutes.
Okay.
That's why also it's easier to do by hand in a sense because when your dough is ready, you know your dough is ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone has the dough that they just made now. It's not going to be ready to be rolled out for 45 to an hour. But so I did make a video that Frieda will share at the end that you guys could follow along after we're finished here. And I showed you how to make a 6 braid challah.
I'm gonna post it. I'll post it on Instagram and on the dsmlive.org. So you'll have.
Now,
it.
Perfect.
it has they could make their beracha now if they want. You take a piece and then you put it in a piece of tinfoil. I'll say the beracha. I'm not sure if you're allowed to answer amen on Zoom.
I know, I'm not sure either. Yeah, we'll show them. I'm going to also take a piece from mine.
And
I am doing mine in Refuah, Shelly Mapa, Susie Hiddery. Right now, I don't have my Hebrew name, and it's on my phone, and I can't get it. So,
I'll get it for you. Hold on.
okay, thanks.
And I have another one. Hold on one second.
Somebody she asked again if she wants to freeze the challah before she bakes it. What does she
Okay.
want?
Okay, so now,
Shelly,
if,
you know?
So, Shelly, let me talk. I said before, I've never done it really, but some people, like right now, after out of the machine, they'll take it and they'll take it in pieces, not like a whole bowl of dough, and they'll take it in pieces. I'll spray a bag and put the challah in there and then freeze it that way. I've never done it. When you take it out, just leave it to rise and then see. I guess you'll know at that point if it worked or not.
hi, okay, so
Thank
me,
you, Shelly.
I've never had success with that. I've done it, and some people do. Some people tell me all the time they freeze their dough. I've never had success. I freeze the dough. Sometimes I freeze it braided like the canary. Sometimes I freeze it in a ball. For me, it's always a flat, dense mess. So I don't know if it's my freezer. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but that usually doesn't work for me. I prefer to braid them, cook them. I freeze my challis hot, by the way. When you take out the frozen challi after you put it in hot, it's as though you made it that morning. You don't even have to heat it up if you don't want to. I take the tray and I put the tray into the freezer. And after about an hour, once they get frozen, I put them in a bag and then I wrap them up. Okay, so it's going to our beracha part now?
Yeah, I have the name for you, and then I have a different name if you want to.
Okay.
Your
Shelly,
name.
you got the haya for Susie?
Yes,
Susie,
I just don't know her Hebrew name. You have it?
Susie, Shafia, Haya, Shafia, Shoshana, Bat Sarah.
Okay, so Refuah Shalema for Chaya,
Shafia,
Shefia,
Shoshana,
Bat
Bat
Sarah.
Sarah. Amen.
Amen.
And I am doing it. Somebody asked me to say it for somebody that passed away for in memory of Shmuel Anupa. So I'm going to say the beracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahafrish challah teruma.
Amen.
Challah.
Okay, I'm saying mine now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahafrish challah min ha'isa charezo challah.
Amen.
So
Okay.
she says a different beracha
Yeah,
because
what is that?
she learned the Ashkenaz way when she was learning how to make challah back in the day. So that was she was told to continue saying that same one. That's the Ashkenaz.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to tell you who taught that to me. I used to work with Rachel Diamond, Rabbi Diamond's daughter. I'm going to get emotional. And she's the one who taught me. And then when she passed away, when I started making challah, so that's my honor to her, is to say it how she
Oh,
said.
that's so nice.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to this. Okay, Frieda, who's rolling? You or me?
So I could roll if anyone wants to learn how to do the 6 braider. Again, we have a video for later, but I could start showing you one now. And then Shelly, if you want to show them how to do breakaways and rolls.
100%. Okay, you go first. I'm going to measure out my...
So I measure out like basically from a batch. I'll usually get about 8 to 10, depending on how big or small you want them. I measure them on a kitchen scale. You don't have to. I just do it because we do it for business. So we like everyone to get the same amount. So I'll take the dough. Is this a good spotlight, Frieda? It's good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, Fred.
Cut it into about 6 even pieces. With a knife, some people use those, I don't know what they're called. Those like cutters.
Oh, the cutter, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said, how much do you measure per challah? Like,
So mine are about a pound each. If you take it on a kitchen scale, it's a little under a pound each dough ball, but you could do it bigger if you're just doing, we do it for a business, so we'd like to make sure everyone has the exact same amount. But you could do really however much you want. I get about 8 to 10 of them per batch.
Yeah, I also, funny, when I make it for myself, I also measure it because otherwise every one of my challis is different size. So it's also good. Some people have an eye, I don't have that eye. So if you have the scale and you don't have the eye, measure them and they'll all look uniform in the same size.
Okay, to answer Sharon's question, what do you do with the challah you made the beracha on?
Oh, you burn it. You put it, either wrap it very, very well and put it in your oven.
Wrap it in tin foil, right?
In tin foil, yeah. Because what happens is it's not supposed to like come out of the foil in your oven. I put it in a toaster oven, so if it comes out of the foil, it's not a big deal. I don't know why it's not supposed to like pucker out in the oven. So I do mine in the toaster oven. So in case it does, it's not an issue where I'm baking my challah. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
So basically you wrap the ball in a piece of tin foil and you like throw it on the bottom of your oven. It's supposed to burn to a point where it's unedible.
Right, exactly.
So,
and if you take it out of the oven and it's still mushy, put it back in your oven and just put it on.
It has to be even unedible for a dog.
Right. Okay, she wants to know how much I have to take. Can you see, Sharon? Look.
Wait, let me show her. Hold on. Okay.
Well, nothing crazy. They say the size of an olive, but this is an olive. And we think in the olden days, the olives were much bigger. So just go like a little bit of a handful. Nothing crazy.
Okay, great.
Okay, Frieda, it's all yours.
Okay. So now I took the dough ball that I had and I cut it into 6 and rolled it out into 6 strands. And I'm pinching the top of it together. The video that I sent is going to show the better view of how to do it. I don't think
It's
I
your view.
Yeah,
It's,
like my
it's-
view as if you were doing. I'm gonna try to do it this way for you. I don't know if it helps or not. Okay. So you're gonna.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I know. It's
You're
not,
right.
the other video will be much better for you
Perfect,
to
yeah.
follow along when you're ready, but I'll do it anyway. So you're gonna take the one on the right. You're gonna cross it over to the left. The one on the left, cross it over to the right. Bring this and put it into the middle, and then you'll start. You're taking the second strand, and you're gonna cross it over the 4 strands and bring it up. Then you're gonna take the first strand, put it into the middle. Then you're gonna take this. I mean, I don't know if you guys could really see it so well. Can you see it, Frieda?
yeah, I mean, I could see it, but I also know how to do it. So I'm,
Right.
you know, but
Okay, so
guys, thumbs up if your view is good. Thumbs up or thumbs down if it's not.
Thumbs up. I see Sharon putting her thumb up. Okay. Then you basically you start from the right, then you do from the left. You're gonna keep alternating as you do it. Then you're gonna take the set.
It's basically second to the right, first to
Right.
the middle, right? Second to the left, first to the middle.
yes.
I
And when
1 over
when
4, 1 in the 2 over 4, 1 in the middle. That's how I counted out to myself. At the end, it's not gonna always be even. So you take it, you pinch it, and then you just tuck it a little under.
Right. Also, when Frieda Shama sends you Frieda Batesh's video, how I learned was you stop, rewind, stop, rewind. I learned that way on YouTube, and I have to tell you, it was very effective. So Frieda made a very good video. You'll see it. Just when you get to a point, stop, rewind, and after like 3 or 4 times making chali, you'll have it down pat.
Now, once you finish making the braid, I'll take a tray with some parchment. Some people don't use parchment, some people do. It's really a matter of preference, and it's also a matter of your oven. Everyone's ovens cook differently.
Right.
Spray it with some pan, and then you just put it onto the tray.
And then you let it rise for about an hour.
Let it rise between 45 minutes to an hour. Then you'll take, right now it's not ready for this, but you'll take the egg wash.
Which is just an egg, beat it in a bowl. You can add water if you want. You could add oil if you want. We just
And
do
then
it with egg.
Put it on top, and then you could put the topping of your choice. I don't do that till it's ready to go into the oven.
Yeah, for some reason, I also find if I do it too soon, it also hinders the rising. I don't know if it's a weight thing or if it's heavy. And am I doing a breakaway now?
I show them how to do a breakaway. You guys, if you
You
guys
guys
have
see
any
my counter?
preferences, let us know.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with, and here's where you're gonna see where my eye is a little off with my sizes, but it's fine because it's going into a tin. Okay. Okay, so I cut this into
Magnificent. I've never looked better.
Yeah. So making chali, I'm laughing. I'm all dressed up to chali.
Shelly, people are loving your apron.
That's how I felt this morning. I'm like, I have to go. I'm so nervous. I'm like, this is perfect. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So I cut the dough into 12. This is for a 9-inch round. I make a smaller one. I'll tell you what I do. I think I cut it into 6 for that. I cut this into 12. This is the easiest thing to do. And I like to make round for the holidays. So this is my now holiday for Shavuot. You roll it, you tie it into a knot. Did you
I
guys
do
get
it a little slower so they could see
Okay.
how you're doing the knot.
Okay, rolling it out. Over, through. Good? Should I do it?
Yes.
I am going to do it again. Here.
Somebody asked, could you use any flour? Or, like, I know you posted the Glicks, but
So I do either Heckers, the Glicks High Gluten, King Arthur, or Shelly has the Wonder Mills. Don't try not to use an all-purpose flour like gold medal. I mean, I've done it because sometimes you have to.
No, we couldn't find flour, right. If
Right.
you can't find flour, whatever you get, you use. We prefer the brands Frieda just said, but after Passover, when there was no flour, I made it with gold medal. It was fine.
right.
It was
Yeah,
fine.
I ate that one. It was perfect.
Yeah, there are some that are better than others. I love the Wonder Mills. I like the King Arthur's bread, but lately, just get what you get, and it should be fine.
It
It
will
shouldn't be.
work. Right.
Okay. So here we
Somebody
go.
also asked, you don't egg chali until after it rises. Every time I do that, it deflates.
So then you're probably leaving it to rise too long if it deflates.
Right. If it's deflating, it's rising too long.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so you guys see what I'm doing, right? I'm just making knots and I'm going around.
Show us the tin.
Yeah. Should I show
Okay.
it to you now or when I'm done?
Whenever.
Okay. Yeah, so let me just show you now. Can you see? Good?
A little bit down, a little bit down. Okay, good.
Okay, so now you see how it's all not touching? It doesn't matter because once it rises, it's gonna all touch and it's gonna all come together.
Okay, how long do you let it rise after you braided or rolled it out?
45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. I like to go an hour. And it also depends on the weather. If your challah is starting to rise stunning after 45 minutes, egg it and put it in the oven. If it's winter and your challah is not rising so well, wait your full hour.
What do you do when it doesn't rise? I have that problem sometimes in the winter when it's very cold and it's really like.
So sometimes just when you get it into the oven, it'll rise in the oven.
Exactly.
Right.
And it just doesn't rise as well.
Right.
It's so funny how the weather really plays a part. Yeah, it really is funny. Okay, so you see I'm sticking a little bit to the counter. I'm not flouring. I'm just going to spread it out, and then I'm done. Okay, let me show you. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, right, and then it fills out.
Right, then it fills
Someone
out.
said
So that's the 12.
challah takes 2 to 3 hours for the first rise sometimes. I guess that's when it's
Try
winter.
the tricks that we taught you. It might be quicker. It could be the yeast. It took me a very long time to learn how to do the yeast, to learn how to proof a yeast. Once I learned how to proof the yeast the right way, it changed my life.
Sometimes I just put it near the hot oven, no?
Yeah. You
Well,
can
I have to tell you, if you guys have convection ovens, on my oven there is a bread rising setting. When I only do one batch and I could fit it in there, you only have to let it rise 1 hour and you're good. Sometimes in the winter, I let it rise 2 hours. I let it rise once, I punch it down, then I let it rise the second hour because it's just the way the weather is.
Right.
If you have that proofing in your convection oven, that is a lifesaver and a very big time saver.
That's awesome.
So most convection ovens have it. I just don't know, but I'm pretty sure like they have all these dehydrating and all that, and they usually have a bread rising one too. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do a smaller breakaway in the 8-inch. I know it looks probably the same as the 9-inch. I'm gonna cut it into 6.
When you guys watch the video, like Shelly said before, that's how we learned how to do the 6 braider. Or anything that you're gonna do, just go to YouTube and search how to do any type of braid you want. You just have to literally leave it in front of you, pause, rewind, fast forward, just keep doing it until you get it. You'll get the hang of it and you'll be able to do it very quick and 2 or 3 times in the challah.
Cindy Gindy just had a great thing. She said sometimes she puts her dough on top of the dryer. I love that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, the only thing is my dryer's in the basement, but if your dryer's on the main floor, Cindy, that's a great idea. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so here's the smaller one. I'm going to show you. See, it's a little bit smaller in the tin, but also when it rises, it rises. Frieda, am I doing rolls, Free?
Yeah, the rolls are basically the same of what Shelly just did for the, I'll even show you also.
Yes, let you go first.
3, 6. So then you still cut it into 6. You'll take 1. It's the same as you would do for the breakaway. You're just going to put it, you're going to take the strand, I wrap it around, bring it out from under, and then I take it and fold it under. And that's a roll.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then you put them on a tray.
Much prettier than mine. You guys, should I show you a 3 braider, which is very easy?
Yes.
Okay. Very easy 3 braid, like you're braiding hair. I haven't done this in ages, but it's also the 3 braid is pretty if you want to make it into a round for the holidays. I'll show you. Okay, so you roll it out. Okay. Can you see? Not crazy long. And they always bounce back also. So you want to try and roll it a little longer so it doesn't bounce. Okay. Bounce. Wrong word. Shrink. Shrink. We hope it doesn't bounce. Then you're really doing something wrong. Okay. All right, so I'm not as good a teacher as Frieda, but it's, you take it in your hand like you're braiding hair.
Shelly, It's a little cut off.
Okay, wait. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so you take it in your hand like you're braiding hair, and you just over, under, can you see?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so that's a 3 braider. And then if you want a pretty round for the holiday, voila.
Ah, that's beauty.
Pretty, right? And it's so easy. That's an easy one.
So, someone wrote, some people say to start the braid from the middle. Does it matter?
I don't think
It's a
so.
matter of preference. However you learn how to do it is the way that it'll work for you. I don't know how to do it. I know that people
I
do
don't
it.
know how to do that
Stunning.
either.
It looks stunning when people do it. I have no clue how. Again, you could YouTube it. I'm sure they'll teach you.
Probably could find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. And no, I don't think it has any effect. I think it'll look really pretty. And no, it has no, if the question is, will it affect your dough? Not at all. It'll probably be beautiful. There's so much you could do. You could do it in a muffin tin. You could do it in a loaf tin. I mean, there's just so many ways.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Oh, I'm going to do the roll. Oh, you did the rolls. Do you want me to do rolls too, or you did them?
Oh, Vicky said she does, and it looks even when you braid from the top. The bottom is narrow.
Yeah, we get that sometimes also.
Sometimes I break my top off. Like,
I never break it off. You could just tuck it. I'll show you now.
Right.
I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
Frieda's, have to tell you, I'm the one who taught Frieda the 6th braid, and she does it so much better than me.
I learned everything from Auntie Shelly. That's just.
Shelly, yeah.
See, look, like it wasn't so even, but you take it and you just fold it under. Press
Right.
it. Look, watch me. Press it, fold it under. And
And
now,
also, when it bakes, it's not as noticeable as when it's before it rises. But sometimes that happens to us too.
I could show you the weave one. Should I show them the weave roll?
Oh, for sure. And you know what, Vicky? Also, when you roll out your strands, try and get them even. This one's not. See, the top is narrow and the bottom is fat. So if I get that with my strands, I alternate. Like I'll put a top fat and a bottom skinny, like upside down. Does that make sense? So that also helps with it getting narrow on one side.
Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the weave, basically round one. You're going to cut it into four strands. You're going to make 4.
Vicky said she lets her dough rise in a sprayed garbage bag, so no washing bowl. That's a good tip.
So it's
It is a good tip.
very funny that you're saying that. We did a challah. I'm wearing this year for Dresser Bride in the summer. We did like a challah challenge last year, 2 years ago. And one of the ladies that came to do
Emily Masry. She's
Emily
like, we
Masry.
brought our ginormous bowls with us.
And she came with clear garbage bags, not scented, obviously. And she had them in there. We're like, wow, this is genius.
That is smart.
So
Excuse me, Frieda wouldn't let me do it today. She tells me you better use your bowl, not the garbage bag.
Because the thought of a garbage bag with bread, it sounds nasty. It took me a while to get used to the.
There we go.
Okay, let me show you how to do this now. It gets a little. Okay, so you're going to take the 4 strands. You're going to put 2 together straight. You're going to put 1. You see what I did? This is over. And then you're going to take it and tuck it under this one. So it's like a.
Yes.
Okay.
Frieda, you should probably film that and send that to Frieda also. Frieda Batesh to Frieda Shama.
Okay. I will. And then this one you're going to do over and under. Does everyone see it?
Yep.
Okay, so now you're going to you could start anywhere you want. And you're going to take it and put it over the next one. Then you're going to take this one, put it over the next one, like every 2. This one.
Right, you just make an X.
This one over the next one. Now, when you get to where you started, you're going to go the opposite direction. This over here. This over here. Sometimes you just have to stretch it out.
Wow, it looks so good.
And then
Yeah, it's beautiful.
now it's like you see, it's like not really so even. It's all over. You take the ends,
Tuck it under.
tuck it in, and tuck it in.
Gorgeous. Wow.
Stunning, right?
Beauty.
Yeah, really pretty.
I love that one.
And it's really not hard to do. Again, YouTube. That's the the easiest way to learn how to do
No,
it.
but if you send it to Frieda, and Frieda, if you post it,
Yeah.
it'll be good. Okay. Should we just egg it and show them? I think otherwise, what else? Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so after the braiding, you let it rise basically 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
And then when it's risen,
When it's risen, okay, sorry, I skipped down. Here I am, I'm back, okay. I should have had this ready, sorry about that.
no, we like
Okay.
to see the process. It's good.
Okay, you break your egg. Okay. If I'm really not being lazy, I'll take a fork and really beat it, but I just do it with the thing, with the brush. Yeah, let me bring this here. Okay, can you guys see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
All right, perfect.
Okay, you just brush the top. Sometimes I'll have extra egg, so I'll brush it a few times and it gets really shiny and pretty. Okay, you just brush it as best you can. If you want it plain, you leave it plain. Otherwise, you take sesame, any seeds you like. I'm doing sesame on this one. I usually have it in a shaker, but I can't find it, so I'm doing it by hand. And you just sprinkle the sesame. That's it. Put it in the oven, bake it at 350, about a half hour, also depending on your oven. After 10 minutes, switch the shelves. Because I find with my oven, when it's on the bottom shelf, the bottom browns a little too much, and obviously the top shelf. So after about 10, 15 minutes, I switch the shelves, and you should get a perfectly even challah. If you have convection,
Some people like it less well done. Some people like it more well done. So it would be less time, more time. You just have to keep
it's 20 minutes to a half hour. If you have convection, I find my top oven is convection, my bottom oven is not. I find it cooks so much better in the convection. So if I'm making a lot of challah, I'll start it in the bottom oven and it'll end up in the convection oven. If not, it's perfectly fine and your challah is going to be delicious. I just find for me it cooks better.
Right.
But it's not like you need a convection oven to make the challah. And basically that's about it.
I missed a question before. Someone asked, is it possible for the dough to over-rise?
Yes,
100%.
there is.
When
Let's say, like I delivered challah to someone before, someone ordered a dough, and basically she's like, I'm not going to be home for a little bit. What should I do? So I say you keep it in your bowl and just make sure, like she had someone in the house, so she was able to do it. You'll take the bowl and you'll just, well, now it's halfway done. You'll take it and you just punch it. Take your fist, punch it down, and then keep it covered again. Let's say you didn't have time to roll it out, but you're home doing things. Again, come back in a half hour. You'll see it just keeps getting bigger and fluffier. In like 20 minutes, this thing will be doubled its size.
Right.
So back to it and just keep punching it down, and then you can leave it for a few hours as long as you keep punching it. If you don't keep punching it, it's going to get very like puffy,
it gets
yeasty flavor, and it's not going to taste so good.
Right, it's not a horrible thing. It gets yeasty. I find every 20 minutes, if you can't get to it after an hour or two even, every 20 minutes, unwrap it, punch it down, it'll be fine. Like Frieda said, if you leave it too long, it gets like and you'll smell it. It gets like a yeasty flavor. It's not terrible. It's just not, it's like a different type of bread. It's not really challah, but it's fine. And yes, you can over-rise it also after you braid it. So if you're going to braid it, make sure you're going to have that hour where you're going to be available to egg it, seed it, and put it in the oven.
Perfect. Any other questions?
Sharon, I see your face. How's your dough look? Keep punching.
So cute, Sharon. I love you.
You guys have any questions? You can always text us.
Any questions, anybody? I think we're good, no?
I think that was very informative. This recording will be posted on dsnlive.org/virtual-fun. So
Great job,
find
guys.
it at any time.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
Shelly,
you.
we definitely want to do this for the seniors. Hopefully we'll not
Okay.
get back to
God
normal.
willing.
God willing.
All right.
God willing,
Thanks, everybody.
we're in.
Shabbat
Thank you,
shalom.
Shelly. Thank you,
Thank
Frieda.
you.
You guys are the best. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. Thank
So
you.
fun. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.